Hi, we're Harriet and Mauro. We're restoring a 5-acre smallholding in Spain into the homestead of our dreams. When we bought this land almost 5 years ago, it hadn't been worked in at least the last 5 years previously, maybe closer to 10, and over the last few years we have been doing everything we can to bring it back to productivity. As well as planting a big garden and working hard to improve the soil so that we can grow our own organic fruit and vegetables for our family, we have planted loads of trees, created and dispersed tons of compost, sown green manure and given all the existing trees some serious TLC. One of the most abundant trees on our land are the olive trees, and of course we arrived to our land with big dreams of abundant harvests and litres of organic olive oil, all from our own trees. However, in the years we've been here, weather, the natural cycles of the trees themselves and other life events have conspired to mean that we've never actually managed to do a big harvest, until now. This year, finally, the stars seem to have aligned, and in this episode we are harvesting from our own trees and pressing our own olive oil. Can we make enough oil to see us through a whole year? Stay to the end to find out.
Daddy, the rake.
Get your rake, put it in the wheelbarrow.
Papa, Mama. Daddy.
We decided to start our harvest with this very awkward tree which is growing down in the barranco and has not been particularly well pruned. It's been providing shade over our guest tent this summer, so we left a lot of tall branches to grow, but now we were paying the price because it was quite hard to harvest from. We ended up cutting down a lot of the branches as we went along and breaking off the olives at ground level.
Mama, down.
Branch coming down.
Mama, down.
Big one coming down.
Big one coming down. Oh, yeah.
This is half the shade for the one.
Las olivas, Santi, las olivas. Muchas olivas. Muchas.
No, get that.
We're going to deal with all these trees first before we can do some more cutting.
Up here.
Yeah, up there's good. That's it, that's perfect. All those olives are.
Fire.
They're a bit over here, yeah.
Fire.
Bit over there.
Daddy.
This one?
Daddy.
Don't you want that one? Get all the olives off. Once we'd got everything we could off the tree, which was only a fraction of the olives because most of them were hanging inaccessibly over the stream, it was time to fold over the net and roll up all the olives into a pile for tipping into the plastic crate. Okay.
But
Now we're going to put all the olives in the box. Are you going to help with that? Okay, pull the sticks out. We don't want the sticks, do we? We don't want all the little twigs. We just want the olive.
Good twigs.
This was not the best tree to start with, was it? Thank you. Not very motivating, this tree. A lot of work, but not great.
Oh, then it doesn't work. It's just here for an hour.
An hour? Well, we're not even going to get a full box. It's just, we've got time for that in our lives, have we? Yeah, we're going to be 3 weeks getting in. Let's go that way. The other trees are more efficient to harvest. No, it's really nice. Like if this was the speed at which it just took. That'll be fine. Like, it is nice, but I just know it can be so much quicker. You know, out the way, please. Alright, good morning. We are hoping to finish the olives today. We've got some friends coming to help. We're going over to the drylands field on the other side of the barranca, which is really the only place that we have trees that are not really inconvenient and actually have a good amount of olives on them this year. So we're gonna harvest those trees, see how many crates we get, and if we still want more, we will then go around all the more awkward trees and try and get some olives off those as well. They're all... Ooh, hang on. Something's gone wrong here. They're like, there's loads in here. I don't know what happened there. Why are they all in there? What?
The basil leaves are good.
Something we've been meaning to do for ages is disperse this pile of compost. It was manure when we bought it a couple of years ago. It was raw, fresh manure. It's now looking a lot more like compost. Anyway, we want to get it onto the olive trees. We have been meaning to do it for ages, and now that we've finished picking, is a good time. Not sure how much each tree is going to get. I'm going to start with one wheelbarrow. Previously it looked like loads, but now the volume has reduced a lot since we bought it. about halfway through the pile, or a little more I would say, and every tree has had its first load, so I'm going to go around again. Woohoo, that is it. That is the pile gone. That is the last load. And it just so happened that every single tree got 2 wheelbarrow loads, so it all worked out perfectly. What do you think? So these are the olives that we did a few days back, because we weren't going to go to the press immediately. We just laid them out in the sun to kind of dry, and try and keep them. Yeah, I don't know, some of them are okay, but some of them have got a bit...
They weren't the best olives to start with anyways.
We trod on a lot of them, and but
it wasn't the best tree, so...
I think these ones, like, that's fine, that's just dried out, but the ones that are like... Oh, come on. Oh, that didn't help, did it?
In the box, something. In the box. Aquí.
La caca.
It's a patilla.
A little bit over there, yeah. You see those ones over there? Oh dear. Huna! This tree has got to be like the oldest and the biggest one that we've got. I think it could be worth putting the nets under this one, because some of the branches are actually pretty good. Like everything on this side, on the side that's facing the sun, yeah, like half the branches are quite good. Chuck me the long one. What happens with the blue ones? Oh, that's good. I think that is the last tree we're going to do. There are some more we could do, but I think we're out of time and the rest are not... Oh, you can't see me. The rest are not all that productive, but we are really, really happy with that. We got more than we hoped for. I think we're going to have 5 boxes when we sort everything out. We've got a few half boxes to split between the other ones. So yeah, 125 kilos. That is awesome. We were hoping for like 4 boxes, 100 kilos. That would have been great, and I think we've surpassed that. Tomorrow we have an appointment at 1 o'clock at the Molino to press it, so we'll take you along and show you what happens when we go there. There we go, 5 full crates.
Ya está, ¿no?
Alright, so we have our oil. This is what it looks like. And we're going to do a taste test. So we got 16 litres in the end. This is a 5 litre bottle. So we got 3 of these. We gave 1 to our friends who helped us with the harvest. And this should be, it could be enough for a year. If we had more, we'd probably use more. We probably will end up buying at least 1 more of these big 5 litre bottles, which is the local olive oil that we buy from the shops.
Do you know which one is which?
Yeah, they look different. So as you can see, one is cloudy and one is less cloudy. That's really the only visible difference. I'm going to start with one. No, because one end didn't have oil. It wasn't like loaded with oil. I can give you a bit with more oil on if you want. Ready?
It feels very fresh.
Mm-hmm.
And a bit of like a bit spicy. So this is so far my candidate for the one we pressed recently.
Okay.
Go for it.
Right, I'm gonna try as well.
Yeah. I maintain
You maintain your...
I maintain my guess.
No, you were wrong. You were wrong.
Oh, now I'm getting the spiciness.
I mean,
it's really hard to tell.
This is the local oil from like local olive oil producers that's all pressed in the local press and mixed together. So
Or something.
it's in the sample.
I couldn't see it.
So it makes sense that they're not that different. Let's
Exactly.
try.
They're literally from like less than.
But I think the main thing is that we know
meters.
that ours is organic and the trees are not like treated with anything. So that's nice to know because this is just a mix of everyone's. It is nice though.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got 6. Oh, that was really spicy.
At the end.
Whoa. Oh my god, that actually hurts. What's going on? Did you not?
Not that spicy, but.
Maybe I just breathed it in weird. Wow. So yeah, we have olive oil, a good amount of olive oil for the year, which we're really happy with. And
We have lots of neighbors we can buy from too.
yeah, we can buy. It's a olive oil shuffle between everyone every year, isn't it? He gets the most, and we'll probably end up with someone else's who had extra. It's not free though. You do have to pay for the pressing and the bottling and everything. It's cheap compared to buying normal good quality olive oil in the shops. It worked out at the press that we went to. It worked out at about €1.60 per litre. So yeah, you're still paying for your oil and obviously the work that you put in, but it's great to know that it's obviously a lot cheaper than buying
compared to the current
equivalent quality oil in a shop. And it's just great to know that it's ours and that we've produced it from our own trees. It was such a lot of fun going to the press, seeing how they do it, seeing the scales and the weight and seeing what you got. It was such a fun experience. I can't wait to do it again.
For the amount of work that we had to dedicate, which is like overall like maybe one full day of work in a couple of sessions, it's worth
for
it.
your oil for the year. Like it's
Yeah,
so
well,
worth it.
it'd be amazing if we had like 3 days of work and we could get 3 times as much. But we can always go help friends and get some from our friends.
Yeah.
So like we're never gonna be short of it.
No, it was such a fun thing to do. I'm so glad we finally got a chance to do it on our own land and see what we could actually produce. And that was, as you saw, just a few of the trees that we have. I think the big prune that we did earlier this year probably meant that some of the trees were still recovering from that. But we did a good, like maybe 8 trees that were really productive.
But it was also weather-wise, it was a really good year.
Which one? This one or this one? This one, okay. Mop up this one.
Bio.
Hmm?
Bio.
A big pile of oil? Yeah, okay.
That's the one.
Is that a good one?